Hello, and after a little mid-season break, we are back. Welcome to the Black Feather and Ospreys Rugby Fancast. It's been a minute since I've seen you two,
It has a bit, isn't it? Good to
hasn't
be
it?
back.
Missed your faces.
Have you?
Yeah, not your voices though. No, I'm joking.
True.
As you both know, I am on the come down after a stag do, so you can do most of the talking. Just let me sit here quietly.
What, leave you in a corner?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll dive into Hamburg a little bit later. But it's been a hot minute since we've seen each other, and there's been three games since then. And um, I could have podcasted the last couple of weeks, but you two been gallivanting.
Lightweights, I tell you. Complete
So
lightweights.
yeah, it's either that you're lightweight or I've got no life. And I go for the second one, if I'm being honest, because I haven't got a lot going on show-wise at the minute, but I'm quite busy throughout May, so I'm quite looking forward to that. Um, but it's been three games. I watched all three of them. To be frank, I could have podcasted by myself, but I don't think it would have been as fun without you two.
No, that doesn't sound like an enjoyable experience. Maybe a short form version, but talking for an hour, that's a
Yeah,
lot, isn't
like
it?
You
I
could have
could
done that
do,
split face thing, when you sort of turn and do,
yeah, Harvey
half your
Dent.
face one way and the other way. You could have done one of those, couldn't
Yeah,
you? That would have worked.
Harvey Dent for Batman. Um, but it hasn't been a quiet 3 weeks. There's lots been going on with St. Helens announced. Um, Derry, unfortunately, we're not going to see him in black again, so we'll get onto that when we do our news section later. But we could rewind back and go back 2 games, but why depress ourselves more than we need to?
Hmm.
We don't need to
Yeah.
do that, do we?
Saturday was depressing enough without delving back into the other two depressing weekends as well. There's no need, is there?
I, yes, I got very excited on Saturday when I thought we'd scored the try that we did score that got disallowed. And then I got very animated when the TMO came in. So let's set the scene. Ulster, Easter weekend. Traditionally, we get a bit of sunshine. No, we get storm. Dave. Is someone in the Met office taking the piss?
The best named storm ever, I think. It's going to be followed by Storm, I don't know what, Ernie or Fred, maybe after that. Who
Um,
knows?
Yeah.
But
they
They
could
could
have
have at
gone with
least
Storm
made
Dick,
it.
really, couldn't they?
They could have made it biblical and called it Judas coming in and disrupting the peace.
Peace. Do you know what? Right, I got it. I sent it to John the other day, which was a thing about the bank holiday weekend, which made me laugh, and it shouldn't have made me laugh. Which was big up to Judas for giving us a 4 day bank holiday weekend. Not too sure of the method, but big fan of the outcome. Yeah, you go, Judas. And I was like, that is not okay on any level. I'm like, hmm, okay, but I,
Yeah,
I get it. I
shout
get
out to
it.
the crucifix as well. Yeah.
There you go. Um,
yeah.
the I've actually seen the Turin shroud that is perhaps what Jesus was wrapped in. Not entirely convinced. I saw it funny enough, in Germany, in a cathedral in Cologne. Um, Very lovely it was too. But going back to Saturday, Storm Dave. Now, a couple of the OSC were out, actually a large chunk of the OSC were out there. And throughout the day, then they were giving me weather updates. The words drowned and rat came into it quite a lot. And also then the wind apparently picked up through the day. One of the stands got moved because they thought the roof was going to come off mid-game.
Wow.
And the stand that they were moved to, they thought that the roof was like literally, they weren't moved, but it felt like the roof was coming in. So not ideal conditions for either team. And I think they were referring to it as a 14-point half playing with the wind. You could kind of see what it was like on Terry, to be fair. It wasn't awesome. We had the benefit of the wind first half. And I don't know whether we capitalised on that as much as we could have, because we only went in with like what, a 4-point lead half time.
And it probably did marginally suit us, didn't it?
Yeah,
Those sorts of conditions, especially how
yeah,
Ulster are playing at the moment. They
yeah,
are scoring tries and
Mm.
relying on their backs.
yeah. So I have locked my husband out. I'll have to be back. Bear with 2 seconds. Talk about me while I'm gone and how lovely my shirt is.
We're gonna have to talk, Rod. You're gonna have to talk now. You can't leave me to talk by myself. So
Yeah, well, as you know, I was away, so I've just watched it this afternoon, and I actually fell asleep on the sofa for the mid portion of the game, and then proceeded to wake up to see that final disallowed try, which was the main thing I was watching to have a good look at anyway.
yeah,
But
we'll save that moment for when Sam comes back, maybe. But
yeah,
like Sam
yeah,
said,
definitely.
first half we left a little bit out there in the first half that we should have gone in with a bigger lead, maybe, or
Yeah,
needed a bigger lead, and then sort of looked like the game had gone, and then looked like we salvaged it, and then
yeah,
the moment happened. Um,
yeah,
Stockdale was annoying as ever, of course.
yeah.
Obviously, pop up, doesn't he?
hmm
And scored an
And
important try.
and McCluskey in the midfield as well was just carrying on that form that he showed during the Six Nations that he seemed to have plucked from nowhere, knocked five sort of years off his career and
Yeah,
reverted back to sort of a younger version of himself. And he was very much the same, wasn't he?
yeah,
He was
very
he
much
was
so.
cut in some gaps, but despite that, I think it was a really competitive game from the bits that I did see. That there was. It seemed to be a good matchup, and I think it was probably quite a promising game. The result excluded in terms of that performance away from home against a
Yeah,
team that is now sitting top three in the league. So
yeah.
um, yeah,
And there was some heroic defense as well. You know, some boys put in a massive shift defensively.
hmm
Lots and lots of hard work in the forwards, especially.
yeah,
And then Sam, we've left it until you're back for the moment that we're
The
all
moment.
waiting
Um,
to discuss.
they, I thought, in terms of the conditions, they acquitted themselves really, really well. You're right, defensively, we were superb. I thought that in light of the wind, the kicking game was really good. I did think that um, there was a lot of positives in there that we can take away. And I know that seems silly with how gutting it was to have that taken away, that possibility of advancement taken away by a decision. Um, I was frustrated before that with Sam Parry's try, and that wasn't looked at further, because Jack was quite clearly saying, "Can you look at this, please? Look, it's there." And there was kind of no involvement from the TMO with that. Surely there must have been angles somewhere to have a little look at that. And then if not, go with the on-field decision. I think that frustrated me. Wasn't entirely convinced by Jack's yellow either.
No, you've
Again,
seen him
that
given, haven't you? But it was when he said
yeah,
it was sort of, the main force was to the body. Um, it could have gone either way then, couldn't it? Once they'd established that there
yeah,
wasn't that direct head contact as you
yeah.
would normally expect for that yellow card threshold.
I just thought, yeah, I just thought it was one of those which was, you could have had a little bit of leeway with some mitigation there with that, if I'm being honest.
mm,
But that try at the end really got me, really, really gripped me. I avoided going on social media because I was proper ranting. When I looked at it straight away, it was like, why is the TMO getting involved?
Hmm.
Because he's not asked him, is there any clear and obvious reason as to why I can't award the try? He's not asked that. You bipped in and said, I'm looking at this here. And then when you're looking at it, obviously he's been tackled as he's passing. His hands are quite clearly going back when you look at the initial movement. The tackles made the hands look flatter. So do I think the pass is a little bit flat? Yeah, I do. Looking at the angles of it, could it be construed as a forward pass? Potentially. But I think it's the flat and the way it's been tackled. The intention is to pass it back. The intention is not to pass it forward. It's the circumstances of the tackle that's made it flat.
Yeah.
So again, that's really peed me off because there are other incidents within that game with one of their tries that could have quite easily been classed as a forward pass. And to me, we're going down dangerous territory. Are we always looking for a reason now for a try not to be awarded?
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
that's not the point of the TMO. We don't want to be following VAR in football because that's a shit show.
Yeah, but the fundamental point that sort of voids any other argument on whether it's marginal or not, or looking at the different angles or how he was tackled, is the fact that if it is a marginal call, you give the benefit of the doubt to the attacking team that's got the momentum, don't you? Particularly when it's resulted in a try in the last moments of the game for the win. It's a bizarre call for me. And the fact that the TMO only looked at only showed one quick angle to the ref and he flipped his decision based on that one thing. He didn't scrutinize it. It's painful.
Yeah.
It feels like we deserve retribution, but that's not how the rugby world works.
Honestly, it really, really frustrated me because when we couldn't sign into Prem downstairs on TV, and we're quite lucky in that we have got a big, massive fuck off telly wall mounted upstairs, mainly because of me when I play the PlayStation. And I was like, well, why have you got a 60 odd inch telly downstairs and I got Poxy TV upstairs? So I got like a 50 odd inch telly on the wall in the bedroom. Sounded like big bollocks, but I think it costs like 300 quid when Samsung had a blue light thing on. So it's like, I'm not posh or whatever. But so we signed in upstairs. Me, John, and the dog sat on the bed watching the rugby, eating mini eggs in the name of Jesus, because it's what he would want. If Cadbury's had been around, he'd be like, Sam, go forth, my child, eat mini eggs. So I'm like, get in, you little fucker, come on. I'm going nuts. I'm bouncing around the bedroom now. I've had to have a nervous pee. And I can hear the telly as I'm having a nervous pee. And I'm like, are you actually kidding me? You bleep, 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 bleep. And it's the swear word that I can't say on you because God's man will definitely wash my mouth out with soap.
I think, Sam, like you said earlier, I think the frustration is that you only watched so many matches across the weekend where there were passes that were far more clearly forward than that one. And when you look at the Northampton game on Friday night, there was a pass that led to their penalty try, which was miles forward, wasn't even looked at. They looked at the penalty try instant part of it, didn't look at the pass at all. Toulouse, probably half of their tries on Saturday had at least one pass in them. I mean, they're playing beautiful rugby, but there was at least one pass in every single try that they scored, I think, which could have been construed as being forward if you looked at it closely enough, or if you wanted to find a reason, like Rod said, to disallow something. So it's that inconsistency of sometimes the TMO comes in, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes the ref asks for it to be looked at, sometimes they don't.
Look at the Cardiff game. Ben Thomas wasting 2 minutes speaking to the ref, asking him to look at an incident. It's like, no. Come on, TMO, why are you not getting involved in that? And I know it's two different opposite ends of the scale, but there's got to be a level of consistency there. And,
Yeah.
But
you're right, when you've got the likes of Stephen Ferris coming out and saying, you've been hard done by, lads, proper dyed in the wool Irishman who wouldn't give you the drippings of his nose if it thought it would, not benefit Ireland,
Yeah, that's probably the most
even the
sensible bit of
ground.
rugby analysis that Stephen Ferris has ever given, to be fair, because he's pretty
Yeah.
personal, isn't he? So,
And loads of people are coming out and being like, mate, this is hard done by. Like, I tweet about it on Sunday morning and I was like, I'm absolutely furious and still gutted about that try being disallowed. Also not happy about Sam Parry's try not being looked at, and not happy with Jack Morgan's yellow. To be fair to Sam Parry liked my tweet. I only had 2 responses to that off Ulster fans telling me sour grapes. Now, normally that would be piled on if they thought they were in the right. Just 2 dickheads. And, it's...
But they're probably feeling sad for us as well, because that is the sort of residing feeling now, is just sadness,
Yeah,
because it would have meant so much for us. And that's what makes the decision so hard to swallow, really. For a club in our position, with all the negativity, it would have meant the world.
yeah.
And no apology, no acknowledgement of making an incorrect decision will sort of make that right. It's just terribly sad, isn't it?
well, it's
Yeah.
probably a season-ending decision, really, isn't it, for us now
Yeah.
with where we are in the
Got
league
no
after the last
Europe,
couple of weeks as
you
well.
know,
That is probably it for the season, based on that one dodgy call that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
we're not going to make playoffs now. So that, we were pinning our hopes on Europe. And to know that you could have come away with that win in that weather when
Yeah.
we've not won in Ulster for so long, just annoying, just really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
But we march on. Obviously, no rugby for us now this weekend.
Which is probably a
Because,
good thing, to be fair. It's
Yeah.
been a tough 3
Yeah.
weeks. I think the week off will do them good to
yeah,
have
mentally,
take stock mentally, to kind of just have that little bit of breathing space for a week, maybe. Hopefully they'll get a bit of time off as well, and then
how do you
reconvene
get them
ready
up
for the last
after
set of
that?
fixtures
Like,
then, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah. And then, so we go into our next block then, where we've got Sharks, Cardiff, Scarlets, and Leinster. So we've got Sharks at home on the 18th, way to Cardiff on the 24th. I got my ticket. Must note to self, do not punch certain people in the face if you see them in real life. Big one. Like, I just make him cry, maybe.
He'll have a keyboard in front of his face and we won't be able to see him.
Like, yeah. Then we've got the Scarlets, which is our last home game, and then we've got Leinster. So, big block. How do we think we're going to do? Because really, we need to win all 4.
Yeah, let's win the 2 derbies, just so we can say that we potentially then finish as the top Welsh region, possibly if we win both of those. We're not going to win all 4 with a bonus point in each, especially with Leinster away, with 2 derbies. Sharks are not doing terribly well at the moment, but it's not going to be an easy game either.
No.
So I think, the chances of picking up 20 from those 4 is pretty slim. So let's focus on winning the 2 derbies, have a bit of bragging rights over our neighbours to the east and to the west. And see what happens with the other 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
how are Leinster doing in the European competition this time round?
Yeah, they've got Sale Sharks in the quarters now coming up.
yeah,
Okay.
They weren't great on the weekend.
no.
No, they've been a bit off all season. I'm just wondering, obviously it's a couple of games away before we face them away. I wonder how they're going to be sort of prioritizing those fixtures as they come. Obviously, they've got the depth to spread their talent across 2 competitions, really, haven't they? But it could work in our favour as it comes to sort of crunch time to maybe go out there and pick up a point. But other than that, yeah, I think we've just got to be trying to get max points out of the Welsh derbies.
I have to be honest. I am okay with wherever we end up. I would have loved a top eight, don't get me wrong, but with everything that's gone on off the field, do you know what? I'm just grateful that we're not at the bottom, because we could quite easily languish at the bottom. You know, the players have been so resilient and together through everything that's happened. That's the best we can hope for,
Mm.
really. And I'm okay with that. You know, I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah. Going back to
Um,
Leinster, sorry, Rod, up for that last game of the season, because they're lying in fourth at the moment. They may be well looking for a win there to keep themselves with a home playoff game.
Yeah,
So there may be
yeah,
something riding on it for them potentially. Depends how the next three games go for them before that, I suppose, and whether the Lions can press them for that fourth place finish. Because I can
yeah.
see, I
That's a
mean,
good
Cardiff's
point.
fixtures, you can see Cardiff kind of dropping off as they did last season. I think they're going to be, you know, struggling to stay hold of that last playoff place potentially. Yeah, but Leinster could have something to play for, maybe.
Hmm.
and Cardiff have got like a major problem at lock, haven't they? You know, they
Yeah,
were pulling people on Thursday night to play on Friday.
yeah, and they got a
Um,
tough run of fixtures as well. So wouldn't be surprised if Connacht maybe slip into that top eight, possibly. I don't know. I think it's
the
pretty much set, isn't it? Really, I mean, Sharks have got an outside shot, I suppose, but it's really between those top nine for for eight places.
the Cardiff game on Friday was an interesting one. If you were watching as a neutral, because that first 15, 20 minutes of rugby, I thought, oh my God, we're heading for cricket, score by ear. Um, so how Cardiff came back into that showed some mettle. I gotta give it to them. Um, Menoncello was just sublime, absolutely superb. And I, I literally was watching it, and I just thought, oh my God, I just couldn't see any way back for Cardiff. And then they scored that try before the end of the first half. And like Lazarus came back, oh Jesus, more apt for the Easter special, came back from the dead, really.
Wasn't our last podcast religious as well? We're going to get a reputation here with this, right?
Oh, um, spectacles, testicles, wallet, and what? Um, I was brought up as a Catholic. I'm gonna hell. I'm gonna hell. Literally, I, yeah, it was a great game. I know Ben Thomas has had a lot of slagging for the badgering of the ref. 2 minutes a bit excessive, but he probably got the world and his wife in his ear who would have said to him, "Why didn't you badger the ref if he hadn't done it?" Um,
Exactly. I haven't seen the incident, but there's nothing worse than as a fan, you wish somebody spoke up a bit louder or
yeah,
pushed the point a bit harder because there's no changing it after the final whistle, is there?
Sam
So
Warburton's done the same. Everybody was
yeah.
grateful when Sam Warburton did
Sometimes you
it.
got to, but you do have to be careful, don't you, as a player, not to build a reputation because then
As that,
referees go into a match cautious of you or wary of your sort of level of tact around managing that relationship. So yeah,
Liam,
you've got scope to do it every once in a while, haven't you? If you
yeah,
need to.
and Liam Belcher was great before he got taken off and replaced. I thought that he controlled the ref quite well. I think that a lot of people would be going, "You're badgering the ref, and English is not his first language." That's fine, but he is reffing an international European competition. So if you feel that he can't understand English, what you got him there for? Like, no, no, and I don't mean that offensively, but the whole point of having an international ref is that you've got someone on the team who can understand, or someone can speak to the ref in whichever way possible. So I don't buy that as an excuse for a second. And again, as I said earlier, total opposite of us, really. Something that really should have been looked at that wasn't looked
Yeah.
at. So again, I would feel aggrieved if I was a Cardiff fan with that, because I would feel pissed off because he just seemed out of his depth, that ref did. Like he sunk to the floor and was watching it like the playback on the floor. And it was like, are there any angles? No, there's no angles. What do you mean there's no angles? Like, what do you mean there's no pictures? What do you mean there's no footage? Like, how? And that's not what he's asking you. You know, it. The last sort of like 5-10 minutes was just very carnagey for me. It seemed like the ref lost control more than anything. And again, frustrating that two Welsh teams are potentially being hard done by as the result of poor refereeing and either involvement or lack of involvement from the TMO.
But who would have thought that the Dragons then would have been last man standing?
Yes.
Viva the Dragons, come on! I almost got my Dragon shirt tonight in honour of them.
Good for them. I don't think anybody would have bet money on them going out to Paris and winning, would they, to be fair?
Against that,
hell of an achievement.
Behave yourself. They had no right to win that in the last 10 minutes. None at all. None. And it was on ECPR TV, no commentary or anything. So you could, I like no commentary sometimes because you can really hear the players and how talkative and how bossy they are. And I just thought they had, that last 5-10 minutes, and for Wyn Jones to go over then for that try, I have never been so happy for them in all my life. If you just said Dragons would be the only ones to go through, I'd have been like, oh, shut up yourself now.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean, those fans deserve it as much as anything else. They've had nothing to cheer for best part of 3 seasons of their really. So to have that moment for them is massive, and good luck to them in the next round as well.
But a fair few of them will be booking their tickets now, won't they? For Palmer next round. Yeah.
Apparently, it's not easy.
Good luck to them.
But looking at who they could have had, then I wouldn't, if I was the Dragons, I wouldn't hold any fear of Zebra, if I'm being honest. And if you look at the trajectory that they've had since December, they've been all right. They've had we beat them by 6 points. They've had close runs against other teams, but they've been in it. It's not like they've been hammered or they've had massive scores put up against them. They've been in it. They've had narrow misses. So again, the mental resilience of them coming into a season thinking, right, everybody's going to write us off. And it seems like there's a massive culture change there now with the things and the positive things that are going on. And I think it's starting to show on the field. And for me, that's just really positive for Welsh rugby as a whole. So to all the people saying we can do 3 and get rid of Dragons, up yours.
Yeah, they've been more competitive throughout the season than they're really from the first game of the season. They've looked a different proposition. They're harder to beat. They aren't, last season they'd be out of a game within the first 20 minutes and it was game over, wasn't it? Whereas this year they're in games, like you said, and level on points with the Scarlets. So, it's touch and go who's going to finish as the bottom Welsh region this year. So, absolutely. You can't write them off now as being, a drift of all of the other regions.
Yeah. On top of some... Yeah. On top of some good coaches, I was just going to add on there. On top of some good coaches, they've just got some good leaders in there now as well, I think. Tina Stabia being one of them, who's just got that self-confidence to just grab a game by its bootstraps and drag everybody else along with him.
He said bollocks then, didn't you? You went for another B word instead.
No, I didn't. I haven't got a dirty mind like you, Sam.
The handbook stories suggest otherwise, Rod, but there we go.
You're not getting any of them. You're not getting anything out of me. But very glad for them. I'm glad for Philo as well, because he's had a hard time since he started. And I think he's now finally, it looks like, putting his stamp on things, doesn't it?
I think he's been given the ability as well to bring his own coaching team in and to kind of get the players that he wants, that he thinks suits him. And I think that's what it's all about, really, is if you've got a coach, is their ability to be able to bring in the team around them, but also to be able to build the squad as well in the way that they see the vision for the region going. So that's been really nice to see because, you know, with the carnage that's going on, like off the pitch, we all want four strong regions at the end of the day. We don't want, you know, I certainly don't want to go down to three. I think we need four, we deserve four, we want four. The appetite is there for four, irrespective of what certain people may see as their God-given right to make changes. But I just think it's fantastic, that we've got someone through. And by rights, we should have all three teams through, and that's not sour grapes or bitterness on my part. Cardiff and us deserved to go through, just for the, want of a decision going slightly awry.
Yeah. And how much of a two fingers up to the union would that have been if all three had got through? That would have been just magnificent, wouldn't it? And
Amazing.
yeah, and I think even without that, I think the way that all four regions are playing at the moment is showing the strength that we do have. The strength of feeling not just of supporters but of the players to put a performance out on the pitch to show that they deserve to play in a Welsh region next season and beyond. It's commendable of all four regions players really for what they're doing currently.
I think what we're doing is demonstrating that actually we can do quite a lot with very little. And I think a small boost in funds for the regions, we're never going to be dishing out money in the levels of your Leinsters and your Glasgows and your Benetton, are we? We're talking realistically about another 1 million, another 1.5 million maybe for each region. I think we could make that go a very long way. I think we'd all be quite surprised by how well we could make that work. So
I just think it's about getting. I don't think you need to invest the level of money into the pathways that they think you do, because we had pathways previously. We're getting the results now for the seeds that we sowed 15 years ago when we got rid of the pathways and the elite academies. Gatland said at the time it was a mistake. Whether you love or loathe Gatland, he kind of saw this coming. And I do think there's a lot to be said there. I think James Hock was talking on Scrum 5. I don't know if you saw his lads kick on the weekend that they uploaded to social media when he was playing for Ospreys. Fantastic. But he's 16. He's looking at going to college. There's nowhere really around you where you can go and do that. So you're looking at, your likes of Heartbreak and whatever. We don't want to lose youngsters to that, at the end of the day. So we need to be able to give that opportunity. And that's where I think the tie-in with the uni for Ospreys is fantastic, because you're giving a chance to the kids to have their education, but also to play and develop their professional sport.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, none of us are craving to go back to the sort of Galacticos days of, the superstars that we had coming into the team 15 years ago, whatever it was. We know we have to grow our own. And like you said, Rod, 1.5 mil towards growing our own players and giving them the opportunity to develop is a huge amount. And, that's the future for all four regions, unless they go down this, rumoured super region of having Cardiff as being the Leinster of Wales or whatever it seems to be what they want to do. But that's not how Welsh rugby is set up. Irish rugby has always been that way. We're not set up that way. We need 4 competitive teams, and we're showing that we can be competitive with the current funding. So, as you say, a little bit can go a long way, Rod. Yeah, 100%.
We're way too tribal, and I think from my point of view, I'm still really annoyed about the non-Welsh qualified players, because look at Ryan Smith and how he's come in this season. He's now on the URC. Not that I pay for the rag that is Wales Online, but I saw a headline and it had a picture of him saying he's up there with the best signings of the URC over the last season, and he has been. He's been absolutely superb. Dan Casende, Bosch off. Cognisinia is going to be a big loss for us, in that he was starting to find his stride with us again after coming back from injury. So, there's a lot that these, NWQ players can offer us, especially when we've got players away on international duty, because that's what we want at the end of the day is strong regions feeding through to the national team. They kind of both go hand in hand. Um, but lots going on off the field, really. Good news came out about St Helens with work starting now in April with slightly watered down plans. Massive boost from, I think they named Rob Davis and Roger Blythe in the articles announcing about the planning. So there's an element of investment, personal investment there by the Ospreys as well. Again, looking like it's not going to be ready from the start of the season, but we should be in sort of October, November time.
So what's Lance's involvement with this now? Because it seems like things are being done superseding him, without him,
He
above
The
was
him,
Invisible
below
Man, you
him.
mean?
I don't know. Like
The
who's
Invisible
he
making
was
Man.
there.
who's making the decisions?
I
Has this been taken off his plate, or is he just managing things from the background?
I think he's managing things in the background. I know he was there when the big press junket was done on the day of St Helens with the players and stuff there. But I think he's taken, whether rightly or wrongly, a fair bit of stick online, and whether perhaps he's doing things quietly in the background to take a step back from that and take some of the heat off himself. I would hope that, and this is purely his choice as to whether he does this or not. I would hope that he comes to the remaining home games. I think that it's important sometimes to front up, be mindful, perhaps not go wandering around the stadium like you normally would, because there are some mad heads out there, but be visible, be seen, don't skulk away, because that kind of makes it like you got something to hide and you may not have anything to hide. Um, you know, I just think it's a really difficult situation for him. Um, I want to be really careful in what I've said because I've met Lance and I kind of like him, but likewise I'm frustrated by the way that these things have been handled and the visibility around it all. So you can like someone, but be disappointed in the way that they've behaved. So whether that's NDAs or whatever. So I would hope that we would see him again, and perhaps have a little bit of visibility. And perhaps now St Helens has been announced, perhaps have a little bit of a supporters evening, so it's more structured for people to come, um, you know, and not allow people to put quotes up online about House of Luxury on the wall. Maybe, but so I took that as a really good and positive move. Obviously, we know things have moved on with the EGM now, which again is quite farcical in that the clubs don't want the EGM now. However, the Welsh Rugby Union is saying legally it's got to go ahead. Now, I think they mean constitutionally it has to go ahead, not legally, because nobody's going to sue you if it doesn't go ahead and try and enforce it through a court of law. However, I think constitutionally they've got to allow it to go ahead. But I think if both parties agree under the terms of the Constitution, you can agree for it not to be held.
So
I know there's lots going on about Tricky Dicky, Mr. Richard Collier Keywood standing down, but the reality is he works one day a week, and he was up for re-election in July. He's just choosing not to be re-elected. He's not choosing to walk away or stand down. He's just choosing not to be re-elected.
Here's my question though. Why don't the clubs want to continue with the EGM? Because the ousting of RCK was just one of the motions that they wanted to pass. There were other things there that were more critical to the plan going forward. Why don't they want to continue and try and pass those?
they've said that they've got the things that they wanted, which was ultimately Malcolm Wall and Richard Collier-Keywood going. So they've got their objectives without going to the EGM. The other things that were on there really were around re-election and stuff. So I think they were by the by, really. Would I personally have still gone to the EGM if I was the clubs? Yeah, because I want to show the might in numbers. Even though he's jumped, I would still want to show that vote of no confidence to say we're serious. We're not going to have this behaviour moving forward. I've heard lots, and I can't substantiate any of this, so it is a very firmly allegedly. There's been a lot of, I'm using my words carefully, a lot of strong conversations had perhaps with the Welsh Rugby Union and the clubs, where the Welsh Rugby Union have indicated, go against us at your peril. And I think the clubs have not taken kindly to that, which quite rightly so. And I think it got to a bit of a Mexican standpoint. I think there have been wranglings on the board with where's the data? We're seeing what's clearly being said in the papers and social media. And I think that perhaps the board is swinging an opposite way now to way things are being done. I think, the noise that people are making, it's quite clear that the support that you think you had, you don't have. But I would still have gone, me personally, I would still have gone ahead with the EGM just to say, have a bit of a pissing contest, really. So you're not gonna
to say your piece, isn't it? And to potentially get him gone sooner, because that is still on the cards, isn't it?
Put him on gardening leave. He works one day a week.
Yeah. But what would be interesting now is to see how Abbey and Reading respond to this, and whether RCK was the sort of driving force behind them, the whipping boy keeping them in line.
Oh, he was known
The
to have a few
whipmaster, sorry.
panties, wasn't he?
Yeah. Exactly.
Panties.
I mean, what names are in line in terms of replacing Collier-Keywood at the moment? I've not heard anything particularly, but is there any?
Loads of names have been touted. That Rob Regan, who did the alternative, apparently he's in dialogue with Abbey and Reading now, and his consortium. Hayley What's-her-face from Go Compare. She's also speaking to the Welsh Rugby Union, and there's dialogue there. I think they're finally accepting help from people who can actually help them, who can kind of bring this along.
But it is an appointment by the board, isn't it? Not by members or... No, okay.
So it's by the board, but I think they're going to have to be really careful about who they appoint and how and why. Because I think Heidi Gwilym was quite right in what she said, in that they wanted more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Begins with a D, diversity on the board with regards to having people who were business minded, but they've gone the opposite way, in that they've now got people who are very business minded, and to them is pounds, shillings and pence, whereas Welsh Rugby's not pounds, shillings and pence.
It will be very interesting to see whether they, as you say, whether it's a non-rugby appointment or a very much rugby appointment. I think that's really key in this one, because it'll very, very clearly then show the direction of travel that the union want to take on this. If it's a rugby person, then maybe there is some dialogue still to be had in terms of where we go next with it, because there may be another rugby opinion coming into the mix. If it's a business opinion, then it may be a business person coming in to drive through the plans that are in place already, maybe.
Yeah, and
in all likelihood, there's going to be an interim period, isn't there, with somebody internally promoted from the current board, just to sort of keep the lights on and then work out the direction of travel after. So and this may just be another thing that just delays the process and strings this whole ordeal on for another 3 years.
But I just think, take it as the opportunity to pause and rethink things.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. Because someone said to me, well, what if someone else comes in his position and they come to the same conclusion?
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
like,
hopefully
that's
there's been
fine,
a
but show
coup.
me.
Hopefully, it sounds like there's been a bit of a coup from within the board, doesn't
Yeah,
it? It was a couple of members of that board who approached RCK and asked for him to give
to
in his
go.
resignation. So maybe there's an idea that's formulating there. Maybe there's new data that I know nothing's been released to us throughout the process, but maybe they've seen something new and that's
They're not happy
informed
with it.
this. Yeah, so maybe there's a figurehead leading that, somebody who's willing to take on that mantle for that interim period
And
and
I
just put a pause on.
look, I'm quite pragmatic, and I think that if you came to me with data and said to me, this is why, this is what's happening, we've got to lose a region, this is the decision that we're going to make, these are the parameters that we're going to use to measure this, bit like a redundancy process, this is the matrix that we are going to use, I would not be happy. For a second, I would not be happy. But you know what? I'd understand. I'm very firmly in the ADHD camp with I might not like something, but if you can explain it to me and I can understand it, I can buy into it. Not going to be happy in the slightest. But if I understand where you're going and why you're going, I can kind of live with that. I'll sulk, but I'll get over that.
Do you
And I
think we
think,
can get? Sorry, Sam, finish.
and I just think, you've got to be open and transparent with it.
Yeah,
And I just think that's where this whole process has gone wrong. It's like, this is what it is, and you will agree with it, and we will not show you anything. It's like, no, we don't live in a dictatorship.
yeah.
You need me. You need me and my family. Like, went to the Bears' big day out. What a cracker of a day. Did not spend a penny in the stadium. I fucking stuff. I got 2 hip flasks in. Someone giving them my money. Simple as.
That's standard for you, though, isn't it? The hip flax comes out at every Ospreys game as
Oh,
well.
yes, you've been there when you've tried that, haven't you? You've tried
Yeah,
this.
with John pouring it down my throat. No, what I was going to say before was, should we get Julian Assange and his WikiLeaks guys involved and see if they can hack into the WRU's database and get us some of that data so we can see it?
Yeah,
Do you guys
to
know
be
any Russian
honest,
hackers by any chance?
no, babes, no.
Not
I can just
personally, no.
about turn my mobile on. To be honest, this could all be largely irrelevant due to the what's it that's currently running the free world. Like, I was quite happy I woke up this morning. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
listening to the news yesterday, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, it was gonna be fucking nuked overnight, but at least I'll be sleeping and I won't know anything about it. But yeah, so it's it's still rumbling on, but from our point of view, it's positive for us because we're going back to our home,
Yeah.
St Helens,
And it
and
does feel more positive in general, doesn't it? That
yeah,
announcement, RCK stepping down, EGM's sort of rattled some cages, certainly. It probably went from, oh, it's going to be 90% us going to maybe something more around
actually,
50, 60%. Things are more
Yeah.
up in the air. There's still everything to play for. So on
I
that front, I'm feeling happier than I have
to
in
be honest, I
in
wouldn't be
months.
surprised if they made a massive fuck off U-turn, and
Yeah.
we end up with 4 anyway. Suits
Mm.
the URC, suits the fans. Drags are doing better. Turks are the Turks. Cardiff are Cardiff. We are us. I think there is a way to split, you know, the umbrella company of Y11 so that, there's 2 different elements of perhaps Y11 controlling Cardiff and Ospreys so that they are at an arm's length. Loads of businesses run in that way. I would like to say it louder for the people at the back who keep contradicting me. Y11 have got approval as of the Welsh Rugby Union to own 2 clubs.
And that's long term, not just in the short
Not
term, isn't it?
temporary,
Yeah.
not long term. not temporary, not just for a year, indefinitely. I am really frigging annoyed with a number of people who have been super rude to me on social media,
Who do you
telling
mean?
me that I'm wrong.
Who could those be? I can't possibly imagine.
So just to confirm, Sam, where's that statement come from? Because I've been a bit
So,
MIA. Has that come
so
from the WRU? Because we don't hear anything from Y11.
I have had that personally told to me in a meeting that I've sat in with Abby Tierney and with a separate meeting with Lance, that the OSC has had.
And
People
that's not
can keep,
theoretical, that's signed. That's current state of play. That can happen. That's not an
yeah,
offer.
no. World Rugby have approved, Welsh Rugby Union have given consent, URC has
Okay.
given consent.
Okay.
You know, URC have said they want four teams, four Welsh teams.
Hmm.
So, you know, to all those people who are telling me that I'm wrong and it breaches this law in World Rugby and la la la, just fuck off. Like literally, I have sat in a meeting, I have had it from the horse's mouth, from Abby, and in a separate meeting from Lance. So this is what was put out by the OSC because it was fully minuted. Let's not go down the route of minutes, but it was fully minuted. So the
So
permissions
it'll come
are
down to
there.
what Y11 wants at the end of the day. And if they don't want, then we got to find another buyer, essentially.
And yeah, Snoop Doggy Dog. Okay, I could do a tower walk. Um, but you know, those permissions are there, you know. So to all the people who are like naysaying on me or telling me I'm wrong, and having a bit of a mansplain to me, just don't. I'm not the one. I'm 48. I'm perimenopausal. I'm technically feral on occasions. You know, just don't.
Haven't heard
Just
that
don't.
in a while.
I
Feral.
am. I am
That was your
feral.
catchphrase when we started this podcast.
I'm absolutely feral.
You
we managed to calm her down, Rod, and now she's back to
yeah, yeah,
feral
I'm
again.
back to
Now.
being
yeah,
feral.
yeah.
But it annoys me. But talking of social media, someone else who's quite amused me this weekend, Tumble Scarlet. What a twat, allegedly.
You know, he was all right when I first encountered him. He was actually okay, and you could have a decent
Oh,
conversation with him. And now everything he posts is Ospreys baiting.
he's literally had to backpedal on so much on social media this weekend that he's absolutely tickled me. Absolutely tickled me. I do think that if he knew how to delete his tweets, he'd delete his tweets. I just don't think he knows how.
You got to stop playing into the hands of these people. They're rage baiting
It wasn't me.
for clicks, for clicks. Aye,
I don't
what
need
was it?
someone else posted, took a screenshot of it and posted it, and that's how I've seen it because I blocked him. I like don't even want to see it on my timeline. But he okay, where is it? Where is it? Oh, someone took the screenshots and they put the receipts in here. Where the
It's a
frig
shame,
is
actually.
it?
There's some seems to be Scarlets fans, especially, seem to be thriving in this kind of separating all the regions from each other, and trying to sort of get one-upmanship for the Scarlets all the time. There's just a couple of Scarlets fans that do that. I haven't noticed many
What are
Dragons
they
fans go down
like,
that route at
innit?
all. There's the obvious Cardiff one, obviously. But yeah, it's a pity, really. There's just a couple of Scarlets fans that, instead of trying to pull together and sort of, realize we all are trying to survive this process,
Oh,
have decided to just
it's
bait
literally
constantly.
everybody's digging everybody else out, and I'm just like, oh, do you know what? Grow up. Um, I think they've I'm trying to find it because the person who posted it had deleted their tweets now. Um,
I don't think you can
let's
put
have a
any
little
more
look.
time into this, Sam.
No, I can't find
in a
it, but
podcast format.
he had to roll back on quite a few things anyway.
The only
And
other people
everybody
deleting
called
tweets are
it.
ones that want to go to the World Cup out in the States that are deleting anti-Trump tweets at the
Yes,
moment.
yeah.
Them and Phil Beebe are the ultimate
I
deleters of
love
tweets.
it. Oh, I just think what is going on in the world. Every day that I wake up, I'm just grateful now that I've not been nuked in my sleep. Is this what
Let's
they
hope
must have felt like in the 80s?
let's hope we can get into St Helens before Trump or the Ayatollah pushes the button. So
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
bonkers, isn't it? 150 odd now for petrol, like behave yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But in other very
I'm
sad news,
I'm gonna post the address of Parker Scarlets to the Ayatollah and say this is your target. Make the
you
decision
were
for the
right in
WIU.
Wales and my, my sting. I'm like near
No,
there. Behave
no
yourself.
nukes, just ballistics.
Just
Just take up
ballistic.
the footprint of the stadium.
Have you seen that they found an
No
unexploded?
casualties.
There's an unexploded World War II bomb they found in Port Albert today.
Really? No
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Just
I'll have
think
to look
that's
at that
epic.
after. Yeah, yeah. They're always popping up, aren't they?
Well, we got bombed to shit during the Second World War, didn't we? So it's they're always finding something. But in sadder news, Dewi's had to have shoulder surgery, so we're
Yeah.
not going to see him back at Ospreys again.
No.
Sad times. Jack's come back, playing fine form. So we will get to see him before.
Picking up lots of cards.
Yeah, but
He's just doing that's just the bread and butter of
just
being
doing Jack things, isn't he?
exactly.
You know?
It happens.
maybe they all
It
say
happens.
all the best in your new job on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck in the Prem base. However, I do think we need to talk about Moriarty.
Oh God, do we have to?
Yeah,
Fair play to him. He lasted until March. And then when he did it big time.
yeah.
And I'm not mad. Thought he was warranted. I thought their winger was a shit and deserved his face being punched in. But yeah, so that's like Welsh Rugby Union news. Anybody else got anything that they want to add?
No, I don't think so.
Don't think
We'll
so,
probably
no.
do we do a more substantial goodbye to Dewi nearer the end of the season, is it? It feels a bit premature now,
Might
but
have a t-shirt
it
made
is
with him on.
it is a shame though, isn't it? It's a massive shame.
I'm going to get a hug from him before he goes.
Yeah.
It's a pity it's the second season running where a club legend doesn't get to say goodbye on the field.
Yes.
It's a pity, isn't
So
it?
sad.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Is it just
I'm
the
gonna-
second season running?
Yeah.
Obviously, Tips
Who was the year before?
last
Last
season.
year.
How long ago
Oh,
was
Alan
it?
Wynne-Jones, maybe.
Alan Wynne. Yeah, I was
Maybe.
thinking
Yeah, it could have
maybe
been.
that was 4 years ago, but he had
Was it
something
that
similar.
long ago?
Mm.
Yeah, it
Might have
was.
been more sooner. Yeah, yeah. But it happens too often, doesn't it? Probably
Yeah.
it happens
Yeah.
more often than not. I would in fact say.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm going to go up to Gloucester for his and Jack's first game.
Mm.
Do you want
That
to
could be a
come,
nice
Rod?
idea. That could be a nice idea, couldn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Mark, do you want to join? It's not too far
Oh.
from here, is it?
Gloucester absolutely need them because they're an absolute shit show at the minute.
They're having a bit of a hard time. But
We'll just have
Yeah.
to try and get some inside skinny from somebody there as to whether they are guaranteed, playing for the game
To
that we
start.
pick.
Yeah.
Because
Not being funny.
You can turn up and
I'll just message
don't
him.
see any sign of them.
I'll just message him. And I'll even go in the shed with you, Rod, as well.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a new Gloucester shirt with his name on the back.
Nice.
Because, why not? Love a
And
new
a vintage one, Rod,
America.
maybe?
Yeah,
A
So-
cotton vintage one.
yeah.
They have got a cotton one, mind, and it's really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Really lovely. I miss those shirts with the old square cotton printed numbers sewn onto the back of them. I'm thinking of getting one of those made for myself to go up to Scotland next year. Getting one sorted. But rando territory. We haven't had one for a little while. Do you want to see me unboxing my latest vintage Ospreys find. John just picked it up for me.
Go on then.
So,
Bit of unboxing content. That's very Gen Z of you.
oh, Gen Z can piss off.
Sorry to any Gen Z listeners out there.
No, I'm not sorry. Gen Z can piss off.
Is it a Jack in the box?
No, it's not a Jack in the box. I wish. I do want a Jack grog though. And I want a Dairy grog. Perhaps when my new office is done. After I still haven't painted my office. Still put my new desk together. It's been upstairs for a year. ADHD the bastard sometimes. Right. I had this for the bargain at sum of £2. So, don't know if I've shown the listeners my Aussie that I had. I had this for £6 on Vinted. He's a little bit dirty and he smells, but I'm going to give him a wash. He's going to come to a game with me because he's very cute and he's still got his original label on. So I personally reckon that was worth the cash. So, this, what do I love more than anything in the world? What do I collect other than like Labubus and stuff like that?
Some sort of plush toy, Beanie Babies, Hello Kitty.
No. What do I often post on Twitter that I'm using for the day?
Yeah, your mugs.
A mug.
Mug of the day. So I saw this, and I originally had one of these, and I took it to work with me in Cardiff, and some bugger smashed it. They said not on purpose. I don't believe them. But got this. It's apparently in good condition, so we'll see when we open it now. Now they've wrapped this well.
We've got some elite pod content tonight, haven't we?
Yeah. See, the professional unboxers. I think what the professional Instagram box openers do is they pre-open it and repack it just so that they... Here's what I made earlier. Here's what I unwrapped earlier.
So tonight we've had Sam trying to find a tweet and then trying to unbox a mug.
Can we play some music like Pass the Parcel and then...
Right, it's unboxed. It's unpacked.
Layer by layer.
Okay.
There we go.
Bit of editing.
Did any sweeties fall out on the way?
What? No.
Oh, that's quite cool, actually.
That's nice.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, Aussie as well.
Oh, it's got Aussie on it for those needing a description.
There he is.
Yeah, there we
Aussie.
go.
Top flight rugby.
Aussie Osprey mug.
And it's in really good condition. And it's just made my life.
Well, you can bring that to games now so that you can tip your little tipple from your flask into your mug.
Put my Bovril in, is it?
I was going to say, the whiskey that John brings in his flask.
That is nice.
I know, they've always got it. So, those two items have cost me like 11 quid on Vinted. So I'm living the dream. Living the dream. However, rando-wise, Rod, what can you tell us safely that happened in Hamburg on the weekend? Did you get anything pierced or tattooed?
I have made a vow of silence, taken a vow of silence. I'll just say lots of vomit, obviously preceded by lots of drinking before that. A couple of kangaroo courts that were very messy. One place we walked in and just bought 50 shots off the bat to run kangaroo court between 12 of us getting various punishments. And also lots of nudity. And I don't mean prostitutes, I mean lots of the boys' willies on show. So basically, as soon as we turned up at the airport, the stag, the groom's bag was taken off him. All his clothes were thrown in the bin at the airport, and he was dressed the entire weekend in like eBay finds leather pink jackets, tight red lycra leggings. He basically his entire life went in the bin, including his house keys. So when he got back after 3 days of boozing, he couldn't get into his house.
Oh, no
He
way.
was livid about, but yeah,
Raging.
messy it was.
But
Now,
keeping on a theme,
as I say, now I have actually suggested that we do monetize this and do a little Patreon
Patreon.
edition, the Hamburg edition. So if there's enough interest in it, what do you reckon?
Hit me up.
£5 a
I
pop?
can set it up.
I'm not saying any more because they will do a post stag do kangaroo court just to punish me.
Oh,
Do the crime, pay the time.
Yeah.
We could do Patreon. I actually offered to do an OnlyFans on the weekend. Someone asked for it to be kept updated on Friday night, and I was like, I'm not doing an OnlyFans, but I'll do an OnlyFans and send you voice notes. What other podcast gives that kind of service? Like, do you know what I mean? Love a little voice note. However, keeping on the theme of you, Rod, sent you a TikTok about a drag Lord of the Rings show.
A drag Lord of the Rings show.
Yeah, I'll resend it to you. It was very fun.
Yeah,
But
I'll have a
they're
look.
doing drag rugby again in Cardiff on the 19th of July.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Are we
Have you
going?
been to one before?
No, but I've watched it on TikTok, and Scott Quinnell's son, Steve, is always there, and he's stunning.
do they wear heels on the pitch? Because that would
No,
rip up
they
the
wear
4G like mad, wouldn't it?
No, they wear boots. But it's only a £5 ticket, and it's really good. It does lots for local LGBTQI plus charities. So I can get behind this. But that's it for the randoms this week. I'll keep my eye on Vintage for the merch.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you, Randon, instead then on the back of that?
Go for it.
What other events would work well in drag?
What are the sports or events?
Should we do sporting events? What other sporting events in drag would actually be entertaining to watch?
Oh God.
I think a drag Grand National might be quite good, as long as the horses were dressed up as well as the
drag
jockeys.
Grand National.
That would be quality, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to think of sports now.
I just love to see like
funny anyway, isn't it? So
Olympic wrestling.
Do you know what? No, right.
Jiu-jitsu.
If you watch the older episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race, the American one, they've done like tasks where they put them in like a boxing ring and wrestling, and they put them in these very manly environments and just make it drag. Yeah. So I think drag can translate to absolutely anything.
You know what would be my fun, going back to the Winter Olympics we talked about a while back, would be curling in drag, but in heels.
Can you imagine? You'll have one grippy shoe, one non-grippy shoe.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's going to ridiculous ones like crown green bowls because of how, because of the sedate nature of bowls. That in drag would be quite comical in some way, in a very surreal way.
What about baseball?
Yeah, possibly.
You've got I think the more league of their own, and they could drag league of their own, couldn't they?
Yeah.
They could like be the what was it? The whatever Peaches or.
Yeah, I think the more sedate sports would be funnier. It'd be a bit more surreal to see like a real sedate sport being played in drag.
Snooker.
Yeah.
Snooker.
Or darts. Can you imagine darts?
Darts would feel appropriate, wouldn't it?
Half of the crowd are in drag anyway in the darts.
Yeah. Snooker would just be a juxtaposition, wouldn't it?
Can you imagine how filthy they could be with the cue sticks, though? Like how they would play that up with stroking the cue stick. I think that would be really, really funny. They could proper ham that up.
I mean, with the big acrylics on, they could get really good tall bridges. You basically wouldn't need to use the spider, would you? You just use your fingers.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Would I get away with them? Probably. Maybe. But that is us for this week. Sorry it's been a bit of a mishmash, guys, but we've discussed all the important things that we need to discuss. Got a break now this weekend, so we're going to have a chat amongst ourselves whether we have a Dragons reaction pod next week, a little baby mini one. But then we're very firmly back the week after.
Yeah, we'll try to get back to some regular scheduling, won't we?
Listen, I'm not the problem here, lads. It's not me, it's you. you know, quite firmly, it's you.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, you know, we listen, we don't judge. You know, everybody's got things going on apart from me who's sad. I got nothing going on. But been lovely seeing you both. And we didn't mention Rod's new piercing. No, he hasn't got a new piercing, Maranka. You're okay. But been a lovely catch up. Obviously, bitterly disappointed after Saturday. We hope that this pod has filled a very much black feathered shaped hole in your lives this week, because you've missed us. I know you have. You know, people have messaged us to say that they've missed us. All the usuals: like, comment, subscribe, share. John was actually speaking to a player's friend today, and he was saying a lot of the players listen to us. So if you're listening to us, lads, we love you.
Yeah.
Or if you want to come on, just hit us up. But all the usuals: like, comment, share, subscribe. Have a lovely week off. Dragons, go well. Do it for Wales. Do it for the men of Gwent. Do it for the Dragons Lair pod so they can do another victory pod, because I know they love doing that on Monday morning. Not entirely sure they weren't still pissed, to be fair, but, you know, good on you, lads. But have a lovely week, and
I'm line of drags. Yeah.
Line of
There we
drag.
go.
Oh, look at me and you twinning and being on this. Oh, look at us.
Meanwhile, my brain's still whirring around trying to think of what to say.
Me, when somebody's trying to explain something to me and my ADHD kicks in, I'm like, but have a lush week and go on, drags. Go and do it for everybody in Gwent. We are behind you. We're going to be dragons for the weekend, not Ospreys. Have a good week, everyone. Bye.